I hope you have dedicated so much of your program to talking about the Catholic Church, because that is the institution in this country right now that is most associated with child abuse.
Hands
and
down,
queer
yeah.
people, gay people, trans people, that is not a thing. What is your definition of
I mean,
child abuse?
they're most associated, but they're actually not more abusive than any other religious institution, and they're not nearly as abusive as.
But no, I want to stay
system.
on this, and I also just
Where are the books at? Where did they get moved to?
Tim, though, what policies about DeSantis do you like in terms of what he's running on for president?
Culture war stuff mostly, but I think COVID policy was
plug
good.
for the show.
Oh yeah.
Right, but what's the culture war stuff that you like?
So yes, but the reason why I've not been, so last year I was like, I think DeSantis is probably better for one simple reason.
No, what stuff do you like now? What do you like that he's running on?
Yeah, culture war stuff predominantly.
But can you expand on that notion?
I think you want me to like pull up specific.
I mean, I don't know. It's like you said that you like certain things, that you're leaning more towards Trump because of AI images. I would hope that there's a little bit more substance to your disagreement.
Well, but every time I try and bring it up, you just ask me the same question again.
What's going on, everyone? Stocks Kenny here today, and we got a doozy one today. So Tim Pool, I guess he got another progressive onto his show, and it seems like Tim Pool does well with progressives. I think he should invite them more on his show more often, actually. And you guys saw the intro video, and from that interaction, I kind of wanted to point out how she doesn't like. It seems like she doesn't listen to what other people are saying, right? She brought up something about the Catholic Church being more groomer, if I'm allowed to say that word, compared to any other religion, right? She said they're most associated, right? And the guy, Sean, I believe his name was, fact checked her and said, no, they may be the most associated, but they don't have any more differences than other religions, like Muslim religion, whatever. Right, but she wanted to high five. Oh, you should go after the church, like trying to make a hypocrisy point. And this is the problem I have with progressives, is that they like to call people out on their hypocrisy because people on the other side actually stand for something while they stand for nothing. That's my view. I think progressives only care about power, and whatever means that justify getting them that power, they will use it. Right? They can make a hypocritical point 1 minute. Oh, my body, my choice. But then when it comes to vaccine, oh no, everyone must be publicly mandated. And you're gonna see this BS as Tim brings up evidence about, hey, this is why I believe, this is why I like Ron DeSantis for culture war stuff. And then she wants to ask for specifics. It's like me saying, oh, I'm for universal healthcare, and I'm like, oh, it's positive about that. And why are you trying to answer a question? I'm like, oh, that doesn't answer anything I'm saying. She's doing the same. This is my problem with progressives, and I think this is why their messaging never really appealed to me as a whole. It's because she didn't even to me, she didn't concede any ground. She didn't say, oh, I was wrong about that. No, she just jumped on to the next topic. Goalpost moving, right? My progressive friends do the same thing. My pro-black progressive friend, he does the same thing. I'll get him on a point. He'll go try to move somewhere else, and I don't move with people. I say, hey, I'm still stuck on A. I'm still need to answer for this question. And he's like, oh, when you have a point, Kenny, you just want to keep beating me over the head with it. I said, of course, because you don't acknowledge the new information that I just brought to the table. And she just did the same thing to try to change topics. And you're going to see this a lot throughout the interaction with them. I might just focus on the gender queer stuff, but I digress. So on the next topic, right? Yeah. So next topic is going to be about the gender queer segment and how she asked him for specifics and he's giving her specifics. See how this interaction turns out. Let's take a look.
You said parental rights. I'm curious what you mean by that.
Yeah, like
I'm in favor of parental rights, right? Like I want parents to be able to, if their child is transitioning, to be able to work with their doctor with a plan and make sure that children are not being driven to suicidal ideation and that parents aren't restricted by the state from...
Let's talk about one of his policies.
Okay, go ahead. I don't want parents to be restricted from the state from giving healthcare to their children.
If I open this book
on
YouTube, the stream will get taken down.
Okay.
Did you ever read this book?
No.
This book is in middle schools in Florida. Ron DeSantis had it removed. That's one simple policy he did. That's very good. You've never seen this book?
I've heard about it.
Have you ever looked inside of it?
No, but I mean, I don't believe in censorship.
If I show you a picture of a blowjob, would you be offended?
I mean,
can I show you a picture of a blowjob?
I wouldn't be offended. I mean, I think
disavow.
That, honestly, do you know, Tim, that the more children learn about sexual education in the way that's productive and done in schools, the less likely they are to be sexually abused because they know what is good and what is bad.
I can't show this image on YouTube.
Do you hear me though about that?
So I think
the more children learn about sexual education, the less likely they are to be victims of pedophilia and rape.
I think the issue is you're confusing sexual education with kink. right? So I'm looking at this right now. I can't even hold it up because I can't point it at the camera. And I don't understand why school children should be taught how to perform blowjobs for an auto-androphile.
I don't understand that either. And this is why I like Ron DeSantis. I voted for that man twice. I voted for him in 2018 when he was running against Andrew Gillum, and I voted for him against Charlie Crist as well, right? This is why. Because, hey, this doesn't belong in schools, right? And then some leftist on Twitter will tell me, oh, you're a fascist, Kenny, because you're for book banning. Well, you're for book banning too, fascist, because Amazon, if I remember correctly, they banned a bunch of books where they was trying to tie in being gay with nurture, right? They saying people were conditioned to be gay because they were molested as a kid. All the science surrounding that, Amazon banned it. Where's all the leftists calling Amazon a fascist company? Right? When it's something they care about, oh yeah, it's an exception. Oh, it's justified. But when the right wants something banned, like pornographical books, hey, sexually explicit books like gender queer, like, hey, you can teach about sex education without going explicit like that. And this is what I agree with Tim Point here. You're conflating sex education with kink, right? And kink is grooming stuff to me, right? You're teaching my kids some stuff like beyond the functionality of sex, right? And she didn't even bat an eye. She trying to make justification for it with she didn't give no evidence for this stuff. Oh, more kids are sexually educated about the sexual process are more able to identify child molestation or whatever. I don't know what point she was making there. A point or a statement made without evidence can be dismissed without evidence. That's how I go about things. Oh, if you can make a claim with no evidence, then I can make a claim with no evidence. And then we'll debate what's more probable. What's more probable is, I think, well, this is me going with the ban stuff that Amazon banned, because the left will find reasons to justify, oh, it's wrong to associate gayness with conditioning. Oh, you've been conditioned to be gay. You can ban those books. But if I say, hey, let's ban these books that is on unfounded gender theory, right? The same concept. But for some reason, we can justify banning one, but not ban the other. This is my problem with you leftists. Y'all only want things to go one way, your way. And it's a two-way street, last time I checked. But hey, I digress. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section about that dichotomy that I just brought up and your thoughts about that. The next clip I'm gonna bring up here is going to be about censorship. She's gonna say, I'm against censorship. I'm against all this stuff. Pretty much reiterating what I brought up here with the gay book banning stuff. But hey, I digress. Let's check out the clip and I'll give my analysis at the end of it. Let's take a look.
I don't believe they're being taught that.
Why was this book banned?
I don't really know. Again, Amazon because this is another case-by-case example.
No. You asked me about what Ron DeSantis did.
Censorship.
You asked me what Ron DeSantis did that I liked.
That he banned genderqueer?
That he's removing pornographic and kink books from middle schools is a very, very good one. And I would.
Well, for me, my politics are a little broader than that, Tim. I gotta say.
So, listen. If your argument to me is that I or anyone else should support your politics because you want to show blowjobs to children, you're going to lose.
Well, I don't think that is a policy done by teachers in this country. I think that this
book was in schools in Florida, which is why
there are a ton of books that are in a ton of schools. I don't believe in censorship. That's not my bag, buddy.
So you think children should have Playboy?
I don't really think so. No, because that's pornography.
So you think a blowjob?
You're in favor of censorship.
Yes,
you are,
absolutely.
Oh, that's good to know.
If you watched the show, you'd know this.
Oh, you're okay. You're
we talk about how we're.
I am not. I want children to be able to have all the information that they need in order to
including pornography.
No, that's not pornography.
How many times do we have to teach you this?
I don't understand how she. I don't understand, bro. How you don't know that genderqueer is pornography? That's pornography. There's no substance to it. It's just like, hey, look, we're just gonna teach you this act. There's no substance that there's no function to learn about this stuff. This is what you proving Tim's point about the kink stuff. And she said, oh, I don't see that as pornography. Well, a lot of parents see that as pornography and a lot of parents don't want to. You're a childless woman from what I can tell. The way she talks, she's a childless woman. And she's telling people with children what is considered good for them and not good for them. That's one of them. Hey, I don't consider that good for my kid. My kid's not going to read genderqueer. To the point where Tim can't even put the very book in front, but you say that's not pornographic. Like, yo, does she not live in reality? Can she not observe what's going on? Right? And this is why my problem with progressive. They don't want to admit when they're wrong. All they want to do is push their prescription for the problems and the ills of society. But when the results tell them, hey, your theory is wrong here, it's not going to be good for society, right? I have a world. She has a worldview. She believes everyone should subscribe to that worldview. And if you don't subscribe to that worldview, oh, you don't care about people. Oh, you're wrong. But you don't give no evidence to back up what she's saying, right? In these instances, she didn't bring up any evidence that I can tell. She just gave an assumption. I'm giving an assumption. And I'm saying, hey, that don't work. Hey, look, I'm a parent of 2 kids, 2 sons, and genderqueer is pornographic. That should not be allowed in schools. Therefore, the book is banned. And because I want book bans, right? Oh, you're pro censorship. You're trying to make this idiocy point. Like, yeah, people can be for. To me, conservatism is about freedom within constraints. Hey, there's certain things we should allow in public life and shouldn't allow in public life. That's what makes people conservative. We're not for like, oh, censor something based on the fact that you said something I disagree with. No, conservatives saying, hey, we all follow one standard. And the standard is objectively, hey, this is sexually explicit stuff. This should not be allowed in school. Therefore, it's banned. That's what conservatives want. But the left say, oh, no, we for hate speech. Okay, conservatives go, okay, define hate speech. What is hate speech? Things that makes someone feel a certain way, feel uncomfortable, feel sad. Like it gets a negative response out of somebody. And I'll say that can be anything. That's too broad. That's too vague. And that's the problem between conservatives and progressives. Progressives like that vaguism because they can use it for authoritarian means and play the fact that, oh, no, look, we're doing it for the good guy. We're the good guys here. You're depicting speech that you disagree with as hate speech. And they go, no, it's not. It's just make a lot of people feel bad. So it's bad. No, you can't run society like that. Rules have to be very defined, very concrete, and very particular and very specific. So that way it's easy for everyone to know where the line is. And that's the problem that I have with progressives. But hey, I digress. I'm gonna put up this last clip, and this is some of the things I talk about to really hammer the point home. She's gonna talk about universal healthcare here and see how the discussion goes, and like see it validates what I think of her is that she has this prescription. Oh, this is the solution, and this is the only thing that can solve the problems that we see in our society. Where that's debatable. But hey, I digress. Let's check out the clip, and then I'll wrap up the video at the end of the clip. Let's take a look.
It's not down compared to 2019.
This was a once-in-a-lifetime pandemic where people's desperation and their mental health was severely harmed. People were out of work, and that kind of desperation leads to more crime. That's the reality of how crime works. Poverty leads to crime.
I would imagine this is inaccurate.
Why do you think 25 people got shoved in front of trains last year?
I don't know, dude.
Well, that's a legitimate question. You're saying that poverty and desperation results in crime. I'm wondering why it is that you've had these homeless guys. They've been predominantly, I think it's almost entirely these homeless guys, shoving people in front of trains. Last year it was 25, and so that's a mental health problem. I mean, we do have a mental health problem in this country. We have an issue with not having socialized healthcare, where people are unable to access healthcare, mental health care in particular, but also every other kind of healthcare. I mean, 28 million uninsured people in this country. That's a massive problem. I mean, what is your stance on Medicare for all and healthcare? I'm for universal healthcare.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah, I think we'd have to have some kind of like basic coverage for universal standard, meaning like if you're having an episode, this is particularly where we bring you in, we help you. If you're broken bones, flu, things that it's like relatively simple and knowledge based. The challenge with it is that we got limited space, we got limited doctors, but I don't think we can function as a society if we have people just dying in the streets like we do with drug abuse and
well, then you should promote housing first policies on your program.
So you see the little interaction there, like for context, she was bringing up something that talking about like high crime rates, how crime is actually down in New York. Actually, let her say it, then I'll come back. I'll replay it, and I'll finish my thoughts with this clip. Let's take a look.
Oh, these inflated crime numbers. Crime is down in New York City in 2023.
So yeah, she made this she was trying to make this correlation that poverty drives crime, and they gave some pushback saying that that's not true. That's not necessarily true. Why homeless people would do, pretty much. She ties in the fact that there's a lot of uninsured people, people who don't have health care, right? I agree, that's a problem. But how we go about it is the difference. She says, we shouldn't socialize healthcare. Socialized healthcare don't work. If you look at Sweden is actually privatizing some of its healthcare system to make it more efficient because nationalized or socialized healthcare is inefficient. If you look at UK, inefficient. If you look at Canada, inefficient. The wait time that you'll have to sit in Canada to see your leg that's broken is 2 months. The average wait time is abhorrent. That's why a lot of wealthy people in Canada come to the United States to get their healthcare needs, because it's a lot faster, because there's a lot more incentive to give a good service, immediate care. And that's what we currently have in our healthcare system. And instead of improving upon that, we want to go adopt another completely different standard. And this is where I was saying that a lot of progressives, they throw the baby with the bathwater. We're doing something good here in America. Hey, it's very expensive, but that's the quality. But we have high quality care for the most part, right? Now we can, drive down costs, and the only way you can drive that cost is, as a capitalist, is introduce a competition. I think the healthcare system is very heavily regulated, right? My vision of healthcare, and maybe I could be wrong, I'm still thinking it through in my head. So if it doesn't make complete sense, you know why. Is that healthcare should not be tied to an employer. That's step one for me. Decoupled healthcare from employment. And I think this is what leads into all this high rate of uninsured people in America, is because a lot of healthcare is tied to employment, right? And if you try to get healthcare without employment, it's very expensive. One way you can drive down that cost is by introducing more competition. That means you have to lower regulation in some fields to allow people to be able to insure other people. Before the government got involved, a lot of healthcare used to be community based, right? So like I have a community here, I have a suburbs, right? And I forgot when we moved away from this practice. I think it was with FDR. FDR coupled health insurance with employment. But before, you used to go in a group with each other, right? Like let's say my community, we come together as a group, and we'll go bargain with the healthcare and say, hey, look, our whole community wants health insurance. This is what we want, and this is the membership. And you pay into that as a collective, and you usually get cheaper rates. Essentially, we negotiate on our own behalf. And I think that's one possible solution, but I'm still working out the ideas. But all I said that to say is that she put this presumption, or she framed it in a way is, hey, this is the only way you can address this issue in America. And I don't like people who think like that. And then you disagree with them, oh, you're evil. Oh, you don't really care about these problems. Like, I don't understand these people, man. And this is what I don't like about progressives, is that they're so on their high horse that they almost unrelatable in my view. But hey, maybe I'm just making nitpicky points. I don't know. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I thought it was a interesting discussion how a lot of things she was saying was very framed in a political way, just to paint somebody as the bad guy, or a hypocrite. And that's all she was really focused on. Tim, at the end of the show, started calling her out, saying that, hey, you're just here to give platitudes, to get clips for your fan base. And it seemed like he was right on the money about that. But hey, you guys let me know your thoughts about this whole interaction with Tim. I left the full 2-hour video in the description. As usual, I always give reference to my sources or where I pull these videos from. Hope you find this video insightful. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate you guys for watching to the end of the video, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.